Hello everyone, and welcome to the BestMyTest Toefl Integrated Writing video series. Today's video is about understanding the structure of the Toefl Integrated Writing task. When you start the Toefl Integrated Writing task, you will be given 3 minutes to read an academic passage. After reading the passage, you will then listen to a lecture on the same topic. However, the reading passage may or may not have a different point of view from the lecture. There are 3 different scenarios that you can encounter. Scenario 1, contradiction. This scenario is the most common scenario. In this scenario, the lecturer will contradict or cast doubt on the key points in the reading passage. Scenario 2, supporting with examples. In this scenario, the main points of the lecture are examples that support the key points in the reading passage. Scenario 3, problems and solutions. In this scenario, the reading passage introduces a problem and the lecture will present solutions to that problem. In later videos, we'll go into depth about how to handle each scenario. Okay, please keep in mind that it doesn't matter which scenario you encounter, as long as you take notes on the key points and viewpoints for both the reading passage and the lecture, you'll be able to answer any of the 3 scenarios effectively. Now, let's take a look at taking notes for both the reading passage and the lecture. When taking notes for the reading passage, make sure to write down the position or opinion of the author and the main supporting reasons for that position or opinion. In most cases, there will be 3 main supporting ideas. Now, for the lecture, it's the same basic idea as the reading passage. You're going to write down the position or opinion of the speaker, which is usually stated near the beginning of the lecture, but not always. Here's where it gets a little bit more difficult, because you don't know what scenario the lecture will fall under, so you have to be listening for supporting ideas, but the lecture may be contradicting the reading. Therefore, it's advised to take notes on examples that support the key points from the reading and also any contradictions. One more thing, the lecture might include information that's not related to the reading. Remember this, you don't need to write down irrelevant information in your notes. Okay, so now you've finished listening to the lecture. Now it's time to read the question and start preparing to write your essays. To get a high score, you'll need to write at least 5 paragraphs that synthesize the main points of the reading passage and lecture all within 20 minutes. Please remember to paraphrase when you write your response. Do not copy the exact words from the reading passage or the lecture. Your score will suffer if you do. All right, let's have a look at an example of a Toefl integrated writing task. Now, read the following passage. Remember, you will only have 3 minutes to read, take notes, and understand the entire reading passage. Now listen to part of a lecture on the topic you've just read about.
Ongoing investigations have shown that predation is the most likely cause of the sea otter decline after all. First, there is a lack of dead sea otters washing up on Alaskan beaches, which is not what you would expect from infections caused by pollution killing them off. However, the fact that dead sea otters are seldom found supports the predator hypothesis. If a predator kills an otter, then it is eaten right away and can't wash up on shore. Second, orcas prefer to hunt whales. But whales have essentially disappeared in that area due to human hunters. Since the whales are not as available, orcas have had to change their diet to what is available. Since it is only smaller sea animals available, the orcas have probably started hunting those more, and created the decline in all of the species mentioned in the passage. And finally, predation is a more likely reason for the uneven pattern of otter decline. Otters in locations that are more accessible to orcas are more likely to be hunted. This is supported by the stable population of otters in shallow rocky locations where orcas can't access.
Question. Summarize the point made in the lecture and explain how the speaker cast doubt on specific points made in the reading passage. As you can see, the main points of the lecture contradict the main points in the reading passage. The passage states that pollution was the cause of the declining population of sea otters, while the lecture states that predation is the most likely cause of the decrease in sea otter populations. Next, we'll write a 5-paragraph essay. Here is the breakdown of your essay structure. Introduction, Body A, Body B, Body C, Conclusion. The introductory paragraph should contain the following: the main topic of both the reading passage and the lecture, a paraphrase of the question describing the amounts of points made that were used to cast doubt on the reading passage. Each body paragraph should cover one main point from the listening and explain in detail how it relates to the main points in the reading passage. Finally, the conclusion paragraph should summarize the introductory paragraph. And yes, you guessed it, you should paraphrase. Do not use the same wording that you used in the introduction paragraph. Quick question. Can you tell me what scenario this question falls under? Summarize the point made in the lecture and explain how the speaker cast doubt on specific points made in the reading passage. That's right. The answer is scenario 1, contradiction. So, with the essay structure in mind, I'm now going to show you a template I use for writing a scenario 1 contradiction essay. So, here is the template for scenario 1, contradiction. As you can see, the template is quite straightforward and easy to use. 3 words that you probably don't know are cast doubt on, refute, and dispute. Both refute and dispute mean to argue against. For example, you could dispute your Toefl score because you believe it was marked unfairly, while cast doubt on is a phrase that means to contradict. Now, I'm going to show you a high-scoring essay using the Scenario 1 contradiction question template. A quick note, the underlined parts in the essay are used to help you see where the template is used. The reading and the lecture are both about theories of the rapid decline in sea otter populations. Whereas the author of the reading states that pollution was the major cause of the decline in sea otter populations, the lecturer suggests that predation is the most likely factor contributing to the reduction in the number of sea otters. The lecturer cast doubt on the main points made in the reading by providing 3 reasons. First of all, according to the reading, the increased levels of pollutants taken from water samples provide evidence for the pollution theory. However, the lecturer disputes this point. He says that if the sea otters had been killed by pollutants in water, they would have been found on shores. Furthermore, he mentions that the absence of dead sea otters on shores indicates that sea otters were killed and eaten by predators. Secondly, the reading states that, aside from sea otters, other small sea animals also decreased in population due to pollution. This finding indicates that pollution is the reason why sea otters are in rapid decline. Nevertheless, the lecturer refutes this argument. He argues that because the whale population decreased, the orcas in the area had to eat otters instead of whales. As a result, the otter population diminished. Finally, the reading claims that environmental factors, which led to different levels of pollution concentration, perfectly explain the uneven pattern of the diminishing sea otter population. On the other hand, the lecturer believes that the uneven pattern of declining sea otter populations corresponds to the prevalence of orcas in different areas. He thinks that the otter population reduces in places with orcas, and there was not a big decrease in otters in places where orcas could not access. In conclusion, although the reading and the lecture are both about hypotheses of the diminishing sea otter populations, the 2 or 3 main points made in the reading are effectively challenged by the lecturer. Looking at this sample essay, you can tell that the writer paraphrases a lot. For example, the decline in sea otter populations can be written in many different ways, like the following: the declining or diminishing sea otter populations, the decrease, reduction, or decline in the population of sea otters. Or, the population of sea otters is declining can be written like the following: the population of sea otters is in decline, the population of sea otters is diminishing. In addition, you should notice that there are many cause and effect relationships in this essay. For instance, you can see words or phrases such as a result, contribute to, and lead to. There are many common words and phrases used to express cause and effect relationships, and knowing how to express them is a very important skill in Toefl. I highly recommend that you check out our video, How to Express Cause and Effect Relationships in Your Essay. All right, do you feel that you can tackle the integrated writing task now? I think you can do it. The key to getting a high score on this task is to master skills in listening, note-taking, and paraphrasing, and expressing different types of relationships in your essay. You can practice these skills and much more at www.bestmytest.com. This is the end of the lesson, and we hope you've enjoyed the video. In our next video, we're going to teach you how to handle Toefl integrated writing task questions that fall under Scenario 2, supporting with examples. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out our website at www.bestmytest.com.